very beautiful cake from UK which is called the Battenburg cake. Other names for this cake is domino cake or a church window cake. It is a very light, airy sponge cake which has two different colors, okay? And then we bring it together and cover the whole cake with the marzipan. The first cake was prepared in the year 1884 during the marriage of Prince Louis of Germany when he married Princess Victoria. And they named it Battenburg because Prince Louis is from Battenburg. Okay. The ingredients to make this Battenburg cake, here we have butter. We are going to use butter. Then this is powdered sugar. Here we have flour and a very special ingredient, almond powder. Okay. And 3 eggs. We are going to add 2 essences here. We are going to add almond essence and we are going to add vanilla essence. And in one cake batter, we are also going to add pink color. Okay, this is pink color. So one will be plain and the other one will be pink in color. You can also have a chocolate cake and a plain sponge cake. Okay. Okay, now what we have done is we have prepared these 2 tins. Okay, here it's a loose water. I mean, it's just a square thing, and we have put aluminium foil. Okay, because we want proper square. Okay, to put one on top of the other. So therefore, these 2 tins are ready, and I'm going to start now with the cake batter. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an electric hand mixer. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you that how to prepare a cake using an electric hand mixer, the creaming method. Okay, when you're using the electric hand mixer, while creaming you should never increase the speed of the mixer. It has to be on slow speed. Okay, so we'll start with this. I'm going to use butter here. So I just put the butter into the bowl. Because all of us know how to use the wooden spoon to cream, but today I thought let's just show you how to use the machine. Soften it up. Can you see that speed is on 1? Okay, after you soften up the butter, we are going to start adding the sugar. Again, sugar in parts. Just because we are using the machine, that doesn't mean you add all the sugar in one part. We want the mixture to get aerated very well, so therefore it has to be in parts. Then the second lot. Maybe instead of 4, you can just add in 3 batches. It's up to you. Only care has to be taken that it is properly aerated. Just mix the sugar with the butter and sugar mixture here. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the sugar will spill. Okay. So therefore, just mix it a little bit and then start the machine. Again, clean the bowl, push everything to the base, and then again add the last bit of the sugar. So in 3 parts I've added the sugar. Don't touch the blades of the bowl, just keep it a little away from the bowl. Okay, now this is done, the creaming is done. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add the eggs. Okay, so here we have 3 eggs. I have broken the eggs and kept here. 3 eggs are there. I have just beaten a little bit and beat it more. Okay, so after you have beaten the eggs, 3 eggs, okay, we are going to add vanilla essence here and a little bit of almond essence. Almond essence is an oil based essence, so just be a little careful, don't add too much. And we are going to again add the eggs in parts. Again, if it starts curdling, if the mixture starts curdling, you can add a little bit of the flour there, okay? Just clean the vessel one more time. Now what we will do is I'll bring all the mixture to the base of the vessel and I'm going to add the flour and almond powder. Okay, now what we have done is actually I didn't mention there is baking powder in this recipe. So we are going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder here and I'm going to sieve this. That's done. Now I'm just going to mix everything here. The almond flour and the refined flour with the baking powder. Now again I'm going to use the machine here, but again speed 1. The lowest speed, okay? Don't over mix, okay? But at the same time, the batter has to get mixed properly. Again, cut and fold only here also, but I'm not going to add any liquid here or like water or anything, milk. I'm just going to mix and I'm going to put it in the cake bowl. Okay? Switch it off and I'm going to remove the blades and I'm going to put the mixture in the cake tin. Now our batter is ready. I'm going to portion it out into this cake tin.
I'm going to start making the marzipan, which is going to be used to cover the Battenburg cake. Okay. So here the ingredients are, I have taken, you can use, this is cashew powder. Okay. You can use almond powder, you can use cashew powder. I have taken 100 grams of cashew powder, and here this is 200 grams of icing sugar. You can take 1:1, you can take 2:1, whatever you want. You can alter the recipe. But here I have taken 1 part of cashew powder and 2 parts of icing sugar, and I am going to buy, it is uncooked marzipan. There are 2 types of, you can make a marzipan in 2 ways. This is an uncooked marzipan whereby I am going to add egg white to bind it together. Okay. The other one is actually you cook the sugar and the cashew powder or almond powder over the flame. I'm also going to add a little bit of almond essence and make the marzipan. Okay, now here I've separated the yolk and the white. This is the white which we are going to use. I'm going to beat it a little bit. I'm going to add some almond essence here. And I'm going to keep it on the side now. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cashew powder. You can use almond powder as I mentioned before. And I'm going to mix it with the icing sugar. And I'm going to form a dough by using egg white. I have taken 1 egg white, but if I feel I require more liquid to bind the marzipan, I'll use some more egg white. Make a well, don't add the whole thing, add a little bit, maybe a little more than half. And remember, almond, cashew has a lot of oil, so do not over handle the dough. Okay. Otherwise, the whole dough will look very oily. That is not what we want. Okay. Then add a little bit more. See, because this is icing sugar, so it does not require too much of liquid to come together. Exactly how you would make a bread dough, only thing is you don't need it much. Do not manhandle the marzipan. Okay. Okay, so I've added all the egg white. I'll just see if I require, I'll add some more. Okay. Okay, now you did not need any extra egg white. 1 full portion of the egg white I've added, and this is what it looks like. Okay, nice and not very soft, but you can easily handle this marzipan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting the cake and arranging. Okay, now as you can see, this cake has got a little more height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut off the top portion. Then I'm going to cut this also, so that they are of the same height. Okay, now as you can see, both of them are of the same height. Okay, then I'm going to cut 2 portions, say 1 inch bread. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it like this. I'll just show it to you now. Place it like this. Place it like this. Now, how am I going to bind it together? As mentioned before, we are going to use apricot jam. After I stick all of these together, then I'm going to cover it up with the marzipan. Now what I'll do is I'll place this on a clean plate. and I will apply apricot jam. Not too much, not too less, because the other cake has to stick to this. We will place this. Again, apricot jam on the top. We will place the, on top of the pink, I am going to place the yellow. Now what you can do is, instead of pink, you can make a chocolate cake and a white, yellow. Choice is yours. Now these 4 cakes or portions, they represent the 4 brothers of Prince Louis of Battenburg. They are 4 brothers. So they represent the 4 brothers of Prince Louis who got married to Princess Victoria. It's also called the window cake, I told you before. So it's like a window, so window. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a thin coat of marzipan, a thin coat of apricot jam all over, and I'm going to roll the marzipan to cover the top, the sides, and also the base of the Battenburg cake. Okay, now I'm going to start rolling the marzipan. I'm going to roll it on a silicone pad because easier. Okay, if you don't have one, you can just roll it on your platform. This is a mix of corn flour and icing sugar. Okay. Roll it a little bit so that you can cover it up properly. Now after having rolled this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this upside down because I've already applied jam here, so I'm going to put it upside down. So the this top will be covered first. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now apply jam everywhere, the top, the sides, and this side also. Okay, so here we go. Again, don't apply too much, just a thin coat. Now what I'll do is I will cover it up. Now what we will do is we will put this up very lightly, carefully. Remember, this is the base. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll just roll this. Okay, here. That is it. Then I will cut this extra portion of marzipan which I have here. And I will now remember, this is the top portion. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the sides. Okay. Okay, now the Battenburg cake is ready. What I'm going to do is I will just keep this on the side. I'll pick up the cake and I'm going to slice or cut the cake. Okay, please take a sharp knife and slice. Okay, so the thickness can be as per your requirement. Don't cut it very thin. Here we have Battenburg cake for you. Can you see the 4 squares, distinct squares I told you? They are the 4 brothers of Prince Louis. or it's also called the domino cake or the church window cake. So here we have the Battenburg cake.